Hey Cancerians, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of May, general reading here. So your meditation was short and sweet. Right, let's go right to the Little Mermaid because that's where I went in your meditation. It's particularly the scene where Ariel and Eric are in the boat and they're in like, I guess, a lagoon. There's all like the weeping willow, tree vines are hanging down, and it's that whole song, kiss the girl, kiss the girl. So I saw Ariel, which I feel like was the Cancerian collective personified, instead of kissing or wanting to kiss Eric at all, I saw her take one hand on one of the willow vines and another hand on the other, hoist herself up, do a backflip, and then start swinging from vine to vine, and became Jane, but like Tarzan Jane, which is really interesting. And then I saw her like swing herself into the air and then stop. And then I saw the phrase, finding your place can be fun. But I feel like there was an implied aspect of like when you are the hero of your own story, when you are starring in your own story, when you write your own story, when you are your own auteur, finding your place can be fun. So it's really interesting because there's an aspect of that meditation where there was a bit of going off script, as it were, right? Instead of wanting to kiss Eric like every good Disney princess, you're just like, I ain't doing that. Like, let me grab onto these vines and start swinging. And it was like, no, I'm not going to be Jane, like on the ground. I'm Tarzan, okay? Get with it. I am, like, in myself, Tarzan. So it was really interesting, this aspect of like going off script. It's really, really fascinating. Let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey, Cancerians. Let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of May. Let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness, so fascinating indeed. Okay. So we have the oyster here. So this is really interesting. You know that whenever a sign gets a animal energy of their same element, that is always very auspicious. So water for water, that is a good sign to begin with. The oyster is very much it equates a bit to like a Four of Pentacles sort of energy where we're not moving in one direction or the other. We're kind of staying put in a form of stasis, material gain, relationship gain, all of that is assured. We're just not in the process of like receiving it or giving away anything at the moment, right? It's sort of like that, intermission in between the two acts, right? With the oyster here as well, oyster medicine is very much about, hiding, as we often do, hiding the best parts of ourselves, right? We take the best parts of ourselves, the parts that are vulnerable, the parts of ourselves that make us most relatable and endear others to us, but we keep them hidden for safety, for protection, for fear of rejection, for all of those, many reasons that we as humans do what we do, usually out of fear, right? But this oyster is very much about what is inside of here that wants to be seen. What is the pearl inside of here that is yet to be revealed? So let's go ahead and see what your cards are. Very interesting. You are the only ones who got oyster for this round. We're about in the middle here. Well, second half. Let's see what else is going on. Cancer for first half of May. Oh my Lord, it's too good already. The light of the world. Do you know that the tagline for this key is don't hide your light under a bushel? And we're talking about the oyster with like hiding the best parts of you inside of the oyster. Stop. It's too good. So yes, this is quite literally like what we were talking about. This is this aspect of you with this little, lovely ginger cat here. And then this is the universe, spirit, your higher purpose, your best life at the door with the lantern here and going, hey, it's time to come out now. Stop hiding away. That ain't it. Come on now. Come out now. So it's interesting here. It feels like there's an aspect of you that's either hidden or reluctant to really reveal some part of you or some desire of yours or form of self-expression, or this could even be, being hesitant to acknowledge that you're not happy in something, that you want more, that you see yourself being more, doing more. This could be an innate gift that you have within you that you just kind of keep to yourself and don't want to share. Whatever this is, the best parts of ourselves, when we keep them to ourselves out of fear of rejection, that is the worst crime we could possibly commit unto ourselves, right? It really, really is. Really, really is. Okay, what else is going on? Wow, I'm sensing a theme. So here we have the treasure, 2 of keys. So do you see this young man and how he is standing in a room that has been disheveled, it's been burgled, someone has broken in and just really violated his personal space. And he's so focused on that he doesn't turn around and see that there's one chest with the gold coming out of it that's been untouched. Now, look at this parallel here. Look at the parallels. Do you see the oyster with kind of the light coming out of it, right? But it's not quite open, but there's light emanating from within. And we know that there's a pearl in there. And see this treasure chest that hasn't been opened, but we can see the golden light emanating from within? And do you see this light of the world here? With the fire glowing from within, the contained fire, and then the contained fire that's in the lantern in the darkness? Do you see? Interesting. I feel like this guy in the house with the cat. I feel like what he's doing, you can't really see it, but in my mind, he is painting paintings that are on the level of like Monet, Picasso, Kahlo, right? But he's afraid to show them to anyone. He's afraid to share them with the world, right? Out of fear of rejection, of being laughed at, out of being, whatever have you, right? What is your version of the painting? What is this aspect of you that we can't see here as the viewer? What are we not seeing that you're doing and the universe is going, hey, bring that out into the light? What is that? That's the question. And what is the treasure that you are keeping locked away, right? That you are choosing not to pick up and give focus to and share, right? What is that? What is that? Or this could be something that, you're not acknowledging about yourself as well, right? Oh, I love this. She's my favorite. Okay, so we got the Queen of Roses here. She's my absolute favorite in this deck. So she is such a beautiful, wonderful energy. She speaks of wonderful, reciprocal, romantic relationships, beautiful, true, nurturing friendships. But she also speaks of being involved in situations, relationships, and work that truly stir the heart and soul. This woman loves these roses. She loves her rose garden so very much that she could sit here and just stare at each and every rose and the whole day could go by and she could barely even notice it. That is her depth of her love for her garden, right? That is what gives her life. That is what brings her life. Imagine that if she kept this garden in a hidden away, what is that? I want to say garden house. Oh, greenhouse. There we go. I was like, garden house. That ain't it. Greenhouse where no one else could see the roses, right? Something that she cultivates and is beautiful that others can benefit from, right? This is the best parts of her, the Queen of Roses that everyone can, smell and admire and love. And she really asks you to consider what in your life elicits the most sweetness and love and care from you. What is that? That's a clue. That is a clue. That's a clue. It's interesting with the meditation with Ariel, flipping the script and then swinging from the vines and then finding your place can be fun. I feel like there's a certain aspect of, it feels like a bit of a mystery or a riddle. But there's a certain aspect of, if you are watching this and you feel like you're either not exactly where you're meant to be or there's something missing, then I feel like for you, there's an aspect of this that says, first it's about acknowledging, what it is, what parts of you that are not necessarily cultivated like a rose garden to the extent that you wish, it was cultivated. Whether because you're busy doing other things or making money or fear or whatever have you, but that's the question, the light of the world. To clarify the light of the world, we have the 10 of Pentacles. This is so on the nose. 10 of Pentacles is happy home and family, but it's also financial abundance, inheritance, and legacy that's around for generations and generations and generations to come. Which is to say, this thing that you are not bringing out into the light, this aspect of you, this acknowledgement, this art, this whatever this is something that could set you up and or those that you love up for a very long time. Again, this doesn't have to be technical art. It absolutely can be. But there is something. There's an aspect of you, that a particular gift you have or a particular realization that you need to like out yourself on, whatever this is, what aspect of you are you hiding away? And by bringing forth, can you experience like a real, true, long-lasting happiness with your true tribe? Because that's a thing, part of this as well. When you step into the full light of who you are, with no apologies and no censorship, you attract like-minded tribe members to you. From past lives, from this life, all of it, right? So it's like you're cutting yourself off from your deepest connections by not revealing exactly who you are to the full extent of who you are without editing, censorship, shame, embarrassment, fear, whatever have you, right? Something about that. Like, just again, back to this example. This guy is like the next Picasso. People are going to be talking about him and his work for like generations and eons to come, but not if he doesn't like leave the room and actually expose his work to the light of day, right? An example. Think about what that might be for you. Treasure. Four of Pentacles. We talked about this. Remember how we said that the oyster equates to the Four of Pentacles in the tarot? Then we have it coming up here. Right. Why did that just fall on the ground? Hold on. That's so weird. That just fell. So weird. Fell on the ground there. Okay. So we said that the Four of Pentacles equates to the oyster, right? Which is not moving one way or the other. But I want to talk about scarcity mindset, because that's what's coming up with this squirrel energy here. You know, squirrel is very much about being prepared and being in a state of, you know, ever readiness and, you know, stowing away for a rainy day and all of that good stuff. But there is a sense of scarcity here, or scarcity mindedness that says, I'm not always going to have what I need. So I have to make choices from a place of like making really, really sure that I always have what I need. This with the treasure, I feel like there's an aspect of like, if you turned around and just opened this box right here, or went down this path, or had this realization, whatever this is for you, you would always have what you need and more, like to an excess of abundance, right? You are the one who is limiting yourself and cutting yourself off at the heels or the knees or whatever body part. It feels like you are limiting yourself, and it's not that you're not going beyond your perceived limitations. You are limiting yourself. You're playing small. There's some way with this energy that I'm picking up on that you are playing small, right? You don't need to. Queen of Roses. Nobody benefits from that, like at all. Wow. Brilliant. So Knight of Wands here to clarify the Queen of Roses. This is really brilliant because the Knight of Wands is very much about, well, first of all, the wands are about the actions that we do or do not take in regards to the work that we love to do and or the relationships that really inspire us and empower us forwards, right? So the fact that we have the Knight of Wands here, who's the most passionate, most go-getter, most instinctual knight out of all the deck, this is spurring you to action. This is the exact opposite of the Four of Pentacles. I can't think of two more counter energies. And the Knight of Wands, who's literally like, zoom, like off to the races, right? Versus the Four of Pentacles, which is like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving, right? You're being spurred to action to really ask yourself, like, what aspect of your life is not being cultivated enough or in the way that you feel like it deserves to be cultivated? What is that for you? It's going to be different for everybody, but I'm really drawn to this red here in the root chakra. I feel like this is directly related to a money-making opportunity or your home or something that really roots you into that belief that you're always going to have what you need and that you are able and you deserve to follow your passions. And in doing so, have all of your needs met and taken care of. You deserve that. It's a myth that we have to make the smart choices and just be money-minded and in doing so be okay. That's not what it is. That is such a myth. It's a kind of a myth born of the baby boomer generation, in my opinion. And that's not what it is. And it's certainly not the age that we're in. What are you passionate about? What in your life makes the hours fly by? I'm getting 3 of Pentacles from this. What is the work that you particularly are good at that nobody else can do quite like you? Right? What is this? I'm hearing to invest in yourself. I feel like there's an energy here of someone who works for other people or is kind of at the mercy of an employer or a schedule that's not in and of their own. And I'm getting this feeling around this, like, what if you just like, not just worked for yourself, but what if you allowed yourself to make an opportunity for yourself so that you could cultivate what you wanted to, make your own rules, make your own, there's something about reclaiming the narrative. And I'm getting that by going back to this red-haired lady here too, like Ariel, like going back to that meditation. You don't have to like kiss the boy in the boat. And you don't have to, just because you're swinging from the vines, you don't have to be Tarzan, or you don't have to be Jane on the ground or whatever. You finding your place can be fun. You are who you say you are. And any kind of rules or restrictions outside of that are really born from scarcity thinking and mindset. And it's just not necessary. If you can look up and see the Matrix, if Ariel at any point in time in that film looked up and went, wait a minute, my whole storyline and my path to self-empowerment and refinding my voice is all based around a man and getting him to marry me? What? Like, if at any point, do you know what I mean? And there's something about that for you, reclaiming your own narrative and remarking your path ahead and kind of looking about how the choices that you've made up until this point, which ones have been yours, which ones have been made out of a scarcity or lack mindset. That's key here. That is key here. It really, really is, because you have an opportunity on the other side of this to bring that pearl to the forefront and have it really change your world in a really wonderful way. Let's go ahead and get an oracle here. I'm feeling this deck. Let's get an oracle. Oracle for Cancer. Let's see what's going on. All right. Oracle. Oh, that took no time at all. Oh my God. Stop. This is so perfect for what we've been talking about. Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. Tell me that this is not like spot on what we've just been talking about. This is about an abundance mindset. And we've been talking about a lack or a scarcity mindset, and then you get abundance mindset. Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. This is believing that you're always going to have what you need. You always do. And understanding and knowing and believing and claiming that you have the right to live your life to your highest and best vision of what that could be, right? And in doing so, reap abundance, because that is what you deserve for following those passions and those dreams. And again, this is directly tied to something that you are particularly good at. What is your personal genius? That is linked to this in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like if you really consider that, I feel like a lot of you know what this is, but if you really consider that, and I feel like that could be sort of illuminating the path ahead for you in terms of, especially because 1 + 8 is 9, right? 9 is very much about independence. And I'm seeing the 9 of Pentacles with this, which is the entrepreneur, which is about banking on yourself, investing in yourself, believing in yourself, being willing to go and take a risk and say, you know what? I'm going to really like do this for myself and make my own reality here, because I don't want to be in someone else's story. I don't want to read the lines off of someone else's script. I'm going to write my own stuff now. I feel like that's what this is. I feel like this is the equivalent of like a brilliant writer, right? This is like the equivalent of like Edith Wharton. I love Edith Wharton, so I'm going to go with her. This is the equivalent of like Edith Wharton sitting in a writer's room for a reality show, and like the producers coming up with like little scripted bits for the reality show, and she's sitting here, this like amazing novelist, and like she's suggesting like, you know, lines to say, like storylines for drama. and then like getting knocked down and being like, you know what, we'll call on you when we're ready for your input. And what she really needs to do is get it from that table and flee and never turn back and write her novels, self-publish them, and or submit them to literary agents until somebody gets the hint, and then she's going to blow up and be bigger than ever. And then those people at the producer's table for the reality show are going to be knocking on her door, hello and goodbye, saying, oh, hey, remember when? That's what this feels like to me. And it's just about kind of alerting you to that as your current reality, and then empowering you with the confidence and impetus and self-love to go and get it. Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. You will get out of it what you put into it. By the way, also, I want to point this out. There's a rabbit here on Gaia's, oh, can you see that? Can you see that? There's a rabbit here in Gaia's garden, and we have rabbits here. So let's talk about rabbit medicine briefly. Rabbit medicine is fascinating because it's a double-sided coin, as all coins are. There's always a shadow and a light energy to everything, but rabbit energy in particular is on the light side of it. Rabbits are all about abundance and fertility and a lot of good luck and fortune. But on the shadow side of rabbit medicine, there's this frozen in fear and self-fulfilling prophecy aspect, right? The rabbit in the woods just keeps chattering so loudly to all its friends that it just knows that one day the eagle is going to find out where it lives, and it's going to swoop down, it's going to eat it, and it's going to be dead. And it does this every single day to the point where one day the eagle's flying above and hears the rabbit going on about how the eagle's going to find it, alerts that eagle to its exact location, and then boom, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So what's interesting about this is the choice is up to you whether you're going to open up this oyster or not. Are you going to allow your fear to rule you and make your decisions and your lack thinking? Or are you going to take the light side of the rabbit energy, believe in yourself, and invest in whatever this aspect of yourself or aspects of yourself aren't being cultivated to the extent that they deserve to be, and then go from there knowing that if time and money were no object, what would you do? And then using that as your jumping off point to go and fulfill and live your highest and best reality. If time and money were no object, what would you do? And then envision your life from there. That's the treasure chest. That's the pearl inside the oyster. Okay? All right, Cancerians, I'm sending you so many blessings for the first half of May. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so very much for being here. And as always, and most of all, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.